Welcome back to Mountain Connections. Right now, we are honored to be joined virtually all the way from San Antonio, Texas, with wrestling power couple, Kristen and Luis Chevere. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here today.
Thank you guys for having
Yes,
us.
thank you.
So, Kristen, let's start with you. There's a lot to talk about here, and the two of you do many, many things. Not only are you a wrestling power couple, you're also entrepreneurs, beauticians, many things are going on. So tell me a little bit more about how the two of you came together.
So we actually came together. I call it like a modern day fairy tale romance. We met through Instagram about almost 6 years ago. He was he was educating at a barbershop in Dallas and happened to be one of my friends who owned it. So I thought he was just a new stylist, and he was not. He was just there to educate, and reached out to him to come train at my salon, and ended up kind of falling for him from that. And we've been together ever since.
Yep.
And Luis, were you always interested in being in that industry and training and learning more about hair and beautician? Is that something that you wanted to do from the beginning, or how did you find yourself in that field?
In high school, we had a program where you could work part-time and go to school part-time. And I got a job as an assistant at a salon. And they took me to a hair show, and I just fell in love with it. I saw people on stage, and I saw it was like a concert, but with hair. So once I experienced that, I just loved it, and I wanted to do that. And luckily I've been able to. So it was just really cool. Not what I expected to do as an adult, like for a career, but some things just happen, and it's been wonderful.
And you both are incredibly successful in this career. And Kristen, same with you. How did you find yourself in this industry?
So I originally started out in the acting world, and I was on set of a movie, independent film, and kind of just got involved with the hair and makeup team, and decided that if I didn't make it as an actress, I could go to school and still be on set doing something. And ended up falling madly in love with color, which I still do to this day. It's what I'm known for. And I teach and I educate how to do vivid hair colors. And also down in Texas, we love our blondes. So it's a lot of blonde work down here as well.
And the stars aligned. It brought the two of you together that one day at the barbershop. So how does the wrestling come into all of this?
Well, we both grew up watching wrestling as children, and it was something that just, it was athletic. It was different. It was something that always just kind of spoke to us. And when I moved here, I started doing some research on schools, and I found Hybrid School of Wrestling, which is where we currently train. And I started training there about 2 years ago or so. And I'm not really the best when it comes to speaking in front of a microphone and all of that. So that's when Kristen came into play, and she became my manager. So she started training there about 1.5 years ago. Yeah, it's been going great.
And the two of you, you're independent wrestlers. How do you break into this field? Is it difficult? I understand you make your own costumes. You've done many things to help support what you're doing, and you're incredibly successful at it. But how do you get into this?
So that's kind of up to you as the trainee. We always say find a good school wherever you're located. Make sure you're trained well, both in the ring and out of the ring. And then making connections, of course, never fails. So we used both of our worlds, actually. Our hair world, we brought in to the wrestling world and met a lot of people through doing their hair. And from that, we built relationships and friendships. And it's kind of helped us in the wrestling world as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And like she said, the most important thing is being properly trained and finding a training facility that will teach you everything you need to know inside and outside of the ring, to keep yourself safe and keeping others safe. So with that, and again, we do make our own gear and our own wrestling entrance jackets and everything. So that's helped us a lot to stick out when it comes to our image. First of all, we're covered in tattoos, so that's always a big thing that helps kind of get you over with the crowd, because there's majority of the crowd is going to be heavily tattooed. So they see you come out and you're covered in tattoos, they're like, oh my God, we're the same. So I think a lot of that is you have to have the ultimate package. You've got to have the proper training. You've got to have the look. And again, it's the same thing as she says. We're fortunate to have some really good connections with some really great friends. So we actually just had our entrance song redone by our good friend Orlando. He wrote the song. He wrote the lyrics and he wrote the instrumental. And then we had our friend Steve from Within the Ruins and our friend Fern redo the lyrics and produce it, and kind of just master the whole thing. So it's you got to have that ultimate package. So once you've got that really helps you not just go off with the crowd, but promoters that run shows are gonna reach out to you and are gonna want to work with you.
Through this hard work, dedication, these connections, you're gaining popularity really quickly. You're traveling around the world doing shows. Do you wrestle each other? Tell me a little bit more about what people can expect to see when they watch you.
So we don't wrestle each other. I, as a child, actually had a pretty gnarly head injury. So I do not get in the ring as much as people would like me to. Doesn't mean I won't get in the ring, but what you can expect usually when you see us is a full-blown entertaining performance, from theatrics to hard hits. And we make sure we leave a mark wherever we go.
Which you absolutely do. And we're almost out of time, but I have to ask you about your wrestling names. We've had them on screen, but you also go by the Cult of Crowley. Tell me a little bit more why you decided to come up with this persona, and it has a little bit of a religious vibe to it as well.
It does, yes. It was something that we really had to work on getting together. That's always the hardest part when it comes to creating a persona, is creating that. And I don't even know how to really describe it.
So the cult is, he is the leader of the cult, Alexander Crowley. He based it a lot off of the religious aspect of Aleister
Crowley, who was a occultist in the 20th century. And then it was a mixture of that mixed with David Koresh from the Davidians. So I took a little bit of both people and kind of mashed it together. We're also very big Supernatural fans, which is a TV show, and they do have a character on there as well named Crowley, and he was the crossroad demon. So he's the man that you sell your soul to, and he makes your dreams come true. So it was a little bit of all of those three together, just mashed in, and we created this.
And Lilith, my character, she is she's known in religious lore as Adam's first wife, and she was actually sent away from the garden because she would not be subservient to him. So my character was developed based off of that, and then also that she found Crowley, who had more power, and I chose to go with him. And that's where we developed everything.
This has been such an interesting and fun conversation. I really enjoyed meeting you both. How can we find out more about you and follow along with everything you're doing as wrestlers and also your salon in Texas?
Absolutely. Everything we do is through social media. That's the best way to see when we have upcoming shows, if we're going to be in your town. My handle on Instagram is I am the Lilith, and
mine's a.crowley with 2 Y's at the end and an underscore.
And as for the salon, if you ever come to Texas, you go through my hair page, my professional page, which is Kristen Michelle Official. And you can find out how to book with me, how to book with him. It's the easiest way to do everything.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today, Kristen and Luis. Really enjoyed meeting you and hearing more about everything you're doing, your salon, the wrestling power couple. Thank you so much for your time with us. We'll be back with more here on Mountain Connections right after this.